going on. We're going to be starting here in a minute. Just letting all the YouTube notifications go through. What is up? We got Paul first in the chat, and followed by Jason. Nice. And then WTF Radio going up the Tank Radio. Sweet. Let this go a little long. Just trying to get a bit of water, but that's all right. We're gonna have some fun either way. All right, sitting up, getting ready to go, and we turn down the mic input. I forgot to bring up the Windows mic input. Get that up. And here we go. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm Frank KG5HJ, and today we're going to be talking about Polo and logging applications and Polo. We are going to have some fun, but as always, we're going to start the stream off right. Let's play that awesome intro video, which I don't have queued up, Frank. Come on. There we go. Quick shout out to all my Patreons who makes the show possible. You can support me by joining Patreon in the link below. And on to Tank Radio. What is up? How are y'all doing? I am doing great. We're making sure we got green over there. We got green over here. We're all good to go. It's still 78 upstairs. I started the AC late, to my dismay, but what you're gonna do, we're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna have Sebastian on here in a little bit. We're gonna be talking about Polo and asking all the interesting questions about Polo and how it came to be. I'm totally looking forward to it, and Windows just dropped me. There we go. That's better. But I'm going to need to turn some water a bit. He is running a little bit late, and that's fine. So I'm going to talk to y'all for a bit here. Let's go ahead and just do the rundown. There it is. Thank you to all my Patreon YouTube members. Y'all are awesome and amazing. Right now, Tank Radio is completely funded by y'all. If you want to see me continue to do all the awesome, amazing things, I really need your help and support to keep this channel going, because currently I'm unable to fund it anything anymore. There's a whole nother channel talking about that. We're not going into the details here, but just know all the funding and support is coming through y'all. So I appreciate each and every one of you, and this is my heartfelt thanks to y'all. And coming up in July is going to be another all hands meeting. That's right, it's going to be Christmas in July, where it's going to be an all hands meeting with all my supporters at all the levels. So if you want to go ahead and join us for the Christmas in July, Windows, why are you dropping me? I'm just having fun. I'm talking to my friends. Go ahead and join now, and you'll get invited to the Christmas in July all hands tank commander meeting. Yes, it's going to be fun. I can't wait for that. And also coming up later this month is going to be the usual Tank Commanders meeting coming up. I think it's next live stream Sunday. On the fourth Sunday is the all hands meeting. Super chat and buy me a beers are active. Links in the description below. And I'm looking for one of these days. I'm gonna put together a sticker pack demo that shows you all the stickers, the 5 stickers you get in the sticker pack, and that is so cool. Ooh, I have new merch. I got new merch. Can my headset reach? Oh, I'm going. Here we go. I have a new Tank Radio pillow that is behind me. I know the link is in the description on this. I'll probably drop it here in a second in the chat. This is the Tank Radio pillow. You can go ahead and get it on Etsy's QRP, Corky QRP's Etsy's website. It's an amazing pillow. This is the medium. There's a larger one. Did you? That's amazing. A bigger pillow than this? Wow. Go ahead and get that at Corky QRP. And Tank Radio mouse pads are all over there too. At Gigaparts, there's 5% off to all my Tank supporters out there. Use the link below. It should take you to the Tank Radio landing page, and that will show you all what items are 5% off if you use Tank at checkout, and that also helps me, Tank Radio, and keep this going. And finally, usually there is a co-host behind me and telling me to slow down, but there's no one right now. It's just me. The audio podcast is released every week. So that means there's new content every week on the audio podcast. And that means there's 2 audio podcasts, depending on the month, sometimes 3 audio podcasts that aren't released on YouTube. So if you want to go and hear all the fun and all the shenanigans we get into, go ahead and search Tank Radio at any podcaster catcher out there, and you'll find me, Tank Radio. And that will show, just show the numbers there, but that would be awesome. I'm really trying to get that to take off. I think that's fun. I really enjoy doing the audio podcasts, and I want to keep those up. So, and y'all let me know. Since I got a lot of free time right now, and I can't really not justify not doing a newsletter because I got free time right now. I'm thinking to putting together a newsletter. I'm trying to figure out a service. If that's something you're interested in a once a month newsletter, I'm just telling you what's going on at Tank Radio, what's coming up on the channel, and maybe some fun, exciting things and links. Put a 1 in the chat. We'll see. We'll see if that is something y'all are interested in. I'm really thinking about doing this. I've searched and I was doing some reviews on some applications that can help me do that. I just need to know if that's something y'all are interested in to have a Tank Radio newsletter. And that also means Tank Radio will be writing it. So misspellings abound. So that's how you know it's not AI generated. Well, it might be a little bit, but I'm using the AI out of the Translate to generate a lot of it, so we'll see. Put a 1 in the chat if you are interested in a Tank Radio newsletter, and I will get the ball rolling on that. Whew, that's all I had as far as the preamble. But just waiting for Sebastian to be joining us here in a moment. He said it'll be about 10 minutes late. It's about that 10 minutes time. FTA Radio, send it, do it. There we're getting some 1s, so I'm looking into it. I will probably be posting a link for the sign up, and through Google just get the email sheet going. And I promise you, whatever service I use for this, there will be an easy unsubscribe button to remove yourself on the list, because we get too many emails already these days. Douglas gave me a 2, so that means he's going to sign up twice. But Something else I really want to talk about while I have a second here. Keep an eye on the channel. I am helping out Neil from Youth on the Air program, and they're about to have a Denver youth camp. And there's a previous live stream I talked about the youth camp, and they are still in need of support to help cover some gaps that are coming up. And they need your help. So I am trying so hard to put together a fundraiser live stream, and we're trying to do that for Monday. If I can't get the YouTube algorithm live stream magic to happen for, um, I'm multitasking for to make it the live stream, there's still going to be something happen. We are still going to be pointing over to the Youth on the Air page. I'm going to pull that up now. This window, Youth on the Air, and they have a donate page that you can go over there and help them bring in the youth. They do this pretty much all at cost. There is a little bit of fees that they do charge the kids, but it's minor, super minor compared to the overall cost of them being there. Youth on the Air. It helps if I speak the words I type. Link. Boom. Bam. There's in the chat. We will definitely I really want to help them out, and I think y'all really want to help them out. So I'm trying to put together a live stream. It's probably going to be a lunchtime live stream tomorrow, and depending on what bricks fall, if we can get the Google fundraiser all going, we will do it. If not, we will probably point you to the page, and I might do something special on that line. Let's go ahead and scroll up a bit. I did see a lot of activity. Prep Ham Paul, man, dropping. Come on, you can scroll. Why aren't you scrolling? Prep and Paul, where is it? He gifted there. There's a big one. Prep and Paul gifted 20 memberships to Tank Radio via YouTube. Thank you, Paul, and thank y'all who received the memberships. That is awesome. I thank you so much. And we got Don received one, and pretty much everybody in the chat right now because we're still building here. That is amazing. Y'all are awesome. Yeah, holy crap. I agree with that. That is awesome. And I got a Windows ding. Oh, but it was muted. So, haha. Don't you get annoyed if you hear Windows alert sounds when you're watching some streams or channels? I'm like, "Ha, I know what you forgot to do." But yes, if you are able to now and not wait till Monday, head over to the Youth on the Air site. You get Inception, double, triple, quadruple Frank. Head over there and help them out. That would be a very awesome support. And they're doing this to help get kids interested in STEM and to promote ham radio to the youth. Paul's like, there's 22 people in the chat. Pretty much thinks they will cover them. That's funny, Paul. That is awesome. Um, that's pretty much all the topics I had to tread on. What's going on with y'all? I'm doing good. I got a new antenna. Actually, I have two antennas. I have a new antenna to me that I'm gonna be needing to do a review on. Why is my camera shaking? It's not supposed to be shaking anymore. And that'll be coming up. And then I was loaned a pack antenna. That's going to be the next major video release next week. Is a pack antenna, and it is awesome. I totally loved it. And as soon as I'm able to, I will be picking up a pack antenna. Sean asked, "What is your to-go Polo radio and antenna?" The answer to that is the radio is Yaesu FTDX10, and the antenna, I got tons of antennas. I am but I really do love the end-fed half-wave antennas, and I use them because they're so easy to set up and on a POTA, and I love it. All right, so we let me get that together. Boom, boom, duel. Hey, Sebastian, how you doing? Doing good, doing good. Thank you for joining, man. It's okay. It happens. It happens. You're with me. You're safe, and we're gonna have a fun time. And plus, Jason's not streaming today, so we go as long as we want. Oh man. So, Sebastian, you created Polo. Is one of the best hamming applications out there. I'm gonna rank it in my top two. I can't choose, but right now, let me just say it's my favorite logging application is the one I kind of use the most recently when I go to activate. And we were talking. Was it over at Huntsville? Not Huntsville. I'm sorry, Dayton, Ohio. Yeah, man. And I was like, "Man, I got to get you on a live stream." I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. I haven't done it already. so, I kind of want to kick off the bat here. Why did you want to create a logging application and create Polo? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Could actually log on a phone, which was great. But Hammers had a lot of little things that didn't work for my operating style.
Mm-hmm.
That would like drive me crazy when I was operating. So like one day I said like, why not start doing my own? Like I had a bunch of ideas that I wanted to see if they would work, and decided to go
Mm-hmm.
build my own logger. That was about a year and a half ago, in the fall of fall of 23. And by March, I had a version of the app, the first public version, and it's been a roller coaster since then.
Mm-hmm.
Like trying to make it better, to add features. Um, I've wanted Polo to be an app that lets you do more than one thing at a time. I One thing that bothered me about every other logger out there is that you have to you're logging for one contest or one PODA activity or one thing, but that's not how most people do radio. Like
Mm-hmm.
the sure, if you're a super competitive contester, you're gonna only work the contest for the weekend. But sometimes you're working that contest, but you also want to see if there's any new DX you haven't chased in that contest, or you're doing parts on the air and you're doing summits on the air, or you're doing field day and PODA at the same time. Uh, so like I tried to build Polo from the ground up as a system that would support multiple activities in a single operation, because that's something that no other logger was doing at the time. So
Mm-hmm.
that was a big thing for me.
And I know you have been very responsive to feedback about Polo and rapid updates and tweaks to the application, and
Yeah,
I find that amazing, especially as
I
a developer. I'm like, what, you just fix that? You go, yeah, yeah, I'll do that this weekend.
I try to do my best. Sometimes I do too much. Sadly, one of like a few weeks ago, there was a little bug that was bothering me, and I fixed it and I pushed the release.
Hmm.
But the release actually messed up everything for like
No.
about 200 people had downloaded the release by the time I realized it was broken.
Hmm.
So it was I learned to not push updates on weekends now. That's the that's a new rule.
I personally, I am a coder, and I do love doing projects and things. However, I my rule
But
is,
they say in the chat that they aren't getting any audio from me.
it's fixed now.
It's fixed? Okay.
Yeah, I
Perfect.
fixed it when I started asking you questions. Um, yeah, as a developer, I do have a rule, and this goes into projects. After 10:30, I stop. Like I find the most mistakes I make and could be the most troublesome is after like 10:30. I'm like, I just want to keep going. I just want to
Yeah,
keep going. And I just make stupid mistakes. And also I can't shut my brain off when I finally come to that stopping point.
yeah.
I it's I just can't turn it off and finally relax to go to sleep. I actually in college I had a nightmare where I was running around and I was falling through the lines of code and trying to run across them, and then the semicolon was jumping after me. So
That's
after
like,
that night, I have a 10:30 cutoff.
yeah, no, I tend to work. I used to be a, a, a a night owl when I was younger, but lately I work much better early in the morning.
Mhm.
So for Polo, I usually what I do is like wake up a couple of hours, like I wake up at 6 or 7 and put a couple of hours in Polo before going into the day job. Um, but I hear what it's like. You got to know when to stop. And
Mhm.
the funny thing is that the next day the problems solve themselves. They're you need to let your brain brew and distillate the problem on its own, and
Mhm.
you will see it right away the next day. So it's
Yeah.
like it's
Well,
every time you feel yourself banging your head against the wall, just stop, go do something else, come back the next day if you can.
and
But
you get a chance to kind of refresh
yeah,
and you stop that train of thought, and sometimes that's hard, and you come
hmm,
back to it and you're more easily able to evaluate the path and to be ask yourself the question, is this the right path to go down? And sometimes you're like, oh, let's pivot over here real fast and see if this works, and oh, look, it works.
yeah, yeah.
I completely understand. So you released Polo for both Google and iPhone applications?
Yes, I wanted it to work on both platforms. I use React Native, which is a framework that lets
Mhm.
me build a single code base that works on both.
Mhm.
Um, it also runs on Macs with the new Silicon Apple Silicon processors because
Mhm.
that lets you run iPad apps. And I'm working. I don't know how soon I'll be able to push it out, but I'm working on a desktop version of Polo that will
Ooh,
run Windows, Macs, and Linux.
I like this
Um,
idea.
yep, that's the that's coming soon. Um,
And I wanted to highlight this point real fast. Polo, even in the mobile stores, is completely free.
Polo is completely free, as in beer, and free as in speech, as they say. It's
Mhm.
open source.
Mhm.
You can build it yourself if you want. You can contribute. Preferably, that's the intent of making it open source.
Mhm.
Um, One reason I also made it open source is it's an insurance policy against me getting tired and bored of doing this,
Mhm.
because it means that someone else can pick it up and continue the project. It's like Polo will not be abandoned,
Mhm.
even if I abandon it. There's enough people contributing and getting to understand the code base that they can keep Polo going even if I change my mind and decide not to do it anymore.
All right, we might be going too nitty gritty and nerdy here, but I just opened up your GitHub. Polo's already been forked 14 times.
Yep.
Wow. And 57 stars. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Eh,
the forks is people contributing. Uh, and if you go on the pull request tabs on the top, there's a
okay.
couple of things coming up that came from other people, including the ability to spot other operators,
Oh, yeah.
not just self-spotting. That I'm gonna merge it for the July release,
Ooh.
um, and work on QSO party county list and rules. That's the I think that we have a couple of other things coming on. I don't have many PRs open. There's
Hmm.
there's a couple from last year that I need to take up again and get the contributors to see how to do it correctly after some changes I did. But yeah, no, we get people contributing new features, people contributing especially new types of
Yeah.
activities like bunkers on the air and castles on the air and
Ooh.
all these things that I'm not into because I don't know, there's not many
Ha-
bunkers around me.
So I'm
But
going to throw something at you.
yeah,
Have you thought about trying
no,
and perfect. I love it. Um, have you thought about trying to create a engine, a engine that will be able to create custom forms and things, so people can put together a template engine, put together a template to help you out, maybe to support
It,
certain templates that you can approve the template and so before pushed out to everybody. But maybe some type of template engine, so I can make a template for, like you said, bunkers on the air, so you don't have to physically code each one, but after
the
a template's approved, it will show up in the drop down menu list.
So I've made it so that it's relatively easy to code a new activity like that. Like if you want to do breweries on the air, the problem is
Yes.
that it's not as simple. The form part of it is actually easy.
Mm-hmm.
What gets complicated is getting the list of references.
Mm-hmm.
Like getting because a bunch of this.
Ah.
One reason we don't have, I think it's bunkers on the air. The worldwide support is, for example, the list of references is an Excel file
Mm-hmm.
that has a separate tab for each country.
Mm-hmm.
Each one of those tabs has a list
Whoa.
of different formats and different columns and different fields.
Oh man.
If someone puts that into a JSON file or a single CSV file is fine, but we need, and then, so I need to code in Polo the code that downloads the file, puts it on our local database, um, that parses it, that when you're, we need to understand if the whatever activity lets you do multiple, like POTA that lets you do the 2 first and 3 first. But adding a new program like that to Polo, it's like I can do it in a couple of hours. It doesn't take that much time
Okay.
if the data is there somewhere.
Mm-hmm. And
If
and
it's not, then I'm not touching it. It's like somebody on the program side has to create that clean database
yeah. Okay.
and support it
That's a
right
good
away.
answer. Um I really do love using the app. It's super simple to use it. I actually have it loaded on my phone. It did the it's not a gripe, but it did take me a moment to figure out how to export the logs.
Yeah, I knew you were gonna go there because that's the biggest thing right now
Mm-hmm.
that I'm not too happy with the how it works.
Mm-hmm.
One thing I'm trying to figure out exactly how to do is come up with a better life cycle for an operation.
Mm-hmm.
So that at when you start your activation, you do your log, and there'll be a button on the screen that you can press to close the log to finish the activation.
Okay.
And when that happens, I don't need to show you the log entry form at the bottom. I can change that to be your export or sync options, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Like make it like before starting the operation, it'll use that space to show you, like to prompt you to add your park references and whatnot. Once you start, then use it just for logging, and then at the end, use it for syncing and exporting. So
That's
you
a
don't have to. It'll be like the actions you want to do will all be in the same screen based on where you are, whether you're starting, finishing, or in the middle of your activation.
that's a
Um,
better kind of idea than I had. I was just going to suggest, if you push and hold or have the three dots on the logs at the first screen, then you have an option to export, so you can just go
yeah,
down, export,
yeah.
export,
Uh,
export, export. Because if you're like me, I I I just uploaded 6 months worth of logs to Parks on the Air.
You do
Because
it. You do it once every 6 months.
yeah,
Your quarterly upload,
pretty
and
much.
I mean, my dream is that also the buttons you would get when you close your operation will basically be one button that says sync,
Mm-hmm.
that will submit to POTA automatically directly for you, that will push
That,
it to say club log if that's your thing, or
mm-hmm.
QRZ, that will push it to your desktop logger if it's supported, that will sync it to the Polo, the ham2k cloud service. That all will happen automatically instead
I
of you
like
having
that.
to select the ADIFs and and do multi-step operation. Like if we can automate that for you, I'm gonna try to do it.
Well, first, the websites have to have a API that supports
Yep.
auto uploading.
Which
Uh,
POTA doesn't do
yeah.
yet. It's been on the works for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but there's I'm kind of waiting to see if they do something to make my life easier. If not, I'm gonna go the hard way and try to simulate the upload
Mm-hmm.
through through code, hack my
Yeah.
way around the way of but I would love to have that thing where you finish your activation, you press one button, and
I
then you get some spinning wheel that
mm-hmm.
says submitting to PODA.
Mm-hmm.
Click done. You're good.
Now, how I usually upload, and I don't know if this is just me because I'm unique and nerdy. When I save the logs, I save them to my Google Drive, and
Mhm.
then later I come home and then I go to that folder in Google and I pull them all, and then I just drag and drop to the
Yeah.
cloud. Or you can do it from your phone. You tell it to go to a file, then you click your drive, and then it's do
Yeah.
all the way
There's
down.
there the PODA site doesn't let you upload from a phone normally, but if you use, I
I
mean, on
just tell
Chrome
it to
you
use
can
the desktop version, and then
use
there it
desktop
is.
mode and it shows up, and yep, you can do. There's the first time I was at a park and I was able to upload the log as I was walking back to my car.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like one of those action movie scenes where there's an explosion behind the guy and the guy keeps walking as if nothing happened. It's like it felt like yes, I haven't. I'm not even back in the car, and I've submitted to PODA,
Mm-hmm.
and it's done. I'm
I I really like how Polo has a lot of shortcut and time saving stuff.
Mhm.
So when you are at a park logging, and I mostly use it for POTA activations, and I know there's features around Soda and some of the other templates you already do support. But if it's some gentleman says he's at a park also, he's a park to park, so I hit the P2P button, and I don't have to type in US. I just
That was
type
one of the
in
first things I wanted to get rid
yeah,
of.
just the number, and then from the call sign you autofill in US.
Yep.
However, a couple of times it was Canada, I just put CA dash and the application was happy enough to
And
grab it.
yeah, if you put something, the application will take your word for it. But also, if the call sign was a Canadian call sign, it should have done Canada for you.
Yes, it did. I
If
realized that last activation. I saw
even
that.
if it's a if you put an American call sign and then you put slash VE, it
Hmm.
will quickly show the CA, or I mean, and like any country, if it will look at the call sign. There's a lot of things that happen in Polo that are based on the call signs.
Hmm.
The thing, if you add up, if you're creating a new activation and you go search for the park.
I wish I could show you my screen and we could walk through this. I don't
I
have
mean,
that mirrored,
I can
but
run a simulator here
oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
share
yeah.
my
Let me do
screen.
desktop sharing.
I don't have many. We'll see what
Whoops, that was the
we can
wrong
get
button.
there. Let's see.
All right, you should
Okay.
have the
Uh,
ability to share. And let me get the right screen
So
here. Oh, I'm upside down. No! I'll fix it. Go ahead.
but you can see it there on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah. So if I do a new operation and activity parks on the air, these are the parks that are near me right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's on the famous yellow dot on the PODA database. If I want to use a park, say I want to do a twofer that happens to be the Appalachian Trail, I can search by name, and here's Appalachian Trail. I don't. A lot of people would only let you search by number. I mean, a lot of apps will only let you search by number. Here you can enter Appalachian Trail works, or if you type a number, it will also filter by that number.
Oh,
Um,
that's pretty cool.
but if I try here, for example, trail, all the results here are US parks.
Uh-huh.
If I come here and change my call sign to be KI2D-VE and I go change, there's no parks nearby, but now I get trail from the Canadian parks database.
Ooh.
So like the call sign you enter in different places makes a big changes what the filters and the options you get are. And just like what you were saying, if I if I press the P2P, you see
Mm-hmm.
the little US grayed out here.
Yep.
So if I enter the park number, it shows it. I don't have to type the US
And the other cool feature, he's like I'm a two for a three for, after that you just hit a comma and then
or a
just part
space.
or
Comma or space
yeah,
will do it.
then 2996, and
Yeah.
you just keep going. That's
But
my part number 2996.
if I if I here enter Echo Alpha 1 Delta Foxtrot, you can see that it changed to ES for the
Mm-hmm.
product reference. So if I enter numbers now, it'll be in Spanish, a park in Spain.
That's so cool. I
And another thing that happens is, for example, if I go on the spots,
mm-hmm.
and here's a good example: Alpha Delta Zero Alpha Alpha. Let me erase this. Alpha Delta Zero Alpha Alpha. Boom! You see the park number?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It came from the spot information. I didn't have to enter it.
Uh-huh.
It fetched it from the spots. If they've been active in the last 5 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
it'll use that park reference for you,
The
which
other
is
the other feature I like is pretty much the same thing. From the spots, you can double click or select a spot, and it auto fills in everything for you.
yeah. You tap here, and it enters the park number, the frequency, everything for you. And I mean, you probably have noticed the call sign notes feature, which highlights certain people.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I were here to enter uh, your call sign, show up as Tank Radio, you can even click here and start watching your videos in the middle of the activation. So
That's
it's just so
awesome.
very meta. Let me play
Guys,
the
with
live.
intense summer heat, there are a
Oh,
lot of
I
people.
don't want to get the ads.
YouTube does them. I might as well profit from them.
Yeah. Um, that list of call signs I maintain, and it's basically all of the famous and not so famous YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagrammers, all of the volunteers behind PODA and Summits on the Air and the World Wildlife Flora and Fauna, all of the people in the Polo community that in the Discord and forums that have been helpful, they get added there.
I
Um,
did see, yeah, an activator or two said a Polo supporter. I was like, oh, that's so cool.
yeah, if let me change this because I'm show all modes and all bands and see who if we find. Oh look, Brian is there.
Oh,
Um, he's one of the biggest supporters of
hmm
Polo. Um, and it lets you can build your own file if you want to
hmm
highlight calls that matter to you, like say your local club members, your friends. If you donate to Polo, you get by default you get this little coffee cup.
hmm
Um, it's a way to recognize people that have given to Polo, to the community, to the different programs. And if you're on the air and you find somebody, is like you can, like we saw here, um, he's the POTA. Bill is a POTA Facebook mod. So if you
hmm
see that, you can say, "Hey, Bill, thanks for your work with POTA." There's a bunch of volunteer people that deserve a little thank you when you're running to them,
Yeah,
and this is a way of highlighting them.
that's awesome. Yeah, and you put a couple Easter eggs in there. I got one. Jason has them, and
Yeah,
Mike has one. I told you to make him a sad ham.
yeah. And like Polo, it has a lot of legal details. Like, hold on, this might not be. Let's see here. This Michael Smith. It'll say that the it's 1,000 miles to Wellington, Florida. This
hmm
comes from PureZ. But if I enter a park number, it'll be the distance to the park, not to his home,
hmm
because now we know he's not at his home. So what's the point? If I mark him as portable, it will not show me the distance because basically he just told me he does that his cure set information is not relevant because he's not at home.
hmm
So there's a lot of little things like that I try to add to the app that most of the time you won't even notice the app doing it.
But so seamless and streamlined, and it's right there. I love it. I love it. And it also self spotting. Let's
Yeah,
that feature alone. That is so awesome.
and I don't know if you know, but you can do a lot of things. Like for example, you can change your frequency by coming here and
hmm
entering the frequency you're activating.
hmm
You probably noticed that the mode changed to SSB as soon as I changed it. So if I put the FT8 frequency, mode changes to FT8 automatically. If I go into the SSB band, it changes. If I go into a CW So just by changing the frequency, it changes the mode for you. You can change it back if you want, if you for some reason. But you can also enter the frequency here, and pressing enter, it will set it for you. So most of the time you're activating, you have your hands on the keyboard. You don't want to have to tap on this control, tap here, enter the thing, and then tap it away. All you need to do here is type the frequency you want to go in.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And if you're just fine tuning around in the band, you can, instead of putting the entire frequency, you can put period 203, and it will go up a little bit. Period 205.
Oh.
Same thing. Another thing I hate about all of the login apps it's not that I hate about login apps, but when it happens to me, it bothers me, is that you have to enter the frequency in either megahertz or kilohertz or hertz, but it's not smart enough. So if I type 14200, 14200, change frequency to 4.200. If I type 14.200, it's the same thing. There's no ambiguity in frequencies on the amateur bands that doesn't let you figure out whether the period is meant to be megahertz or not. But I can do 200.5, and that will be 14200.5.
That's
I can also change this quickly by putting 40 meters if you want to keep it general like that. You enter the frequency and you want to self-spot yourself, just type QRV.
Oh,
spot with QRV.
That's
you
awesome.
QSY or QRT, and it will do self-spotting with that message.
I'm bad at the QRT message.
It's yeah. Instead of having to come here to self-spotting and entering the data and press the button, you're doing parks on the air and summits on the air. It'll spot you to all the different services. So if I add here summits on the air, yeah, I know I have not logged in. Then hold on. A little spoiler. I'm adding support for 13 colonies.
Ooh, I love that event.
Self-spotting. Oh, I'm not logged into Soda Watch. It's going to take too long. But basically, you will get a little mountain here. It'll spot you on both services with a single tap.
Oh,
or
nice.
by typing QRV or QRT or whatever. I've been working on doing 13 colonies support. You get full checklists of the special stations you've worked, and that'll work even across multiple activations and whatnot. That'll be ready in time for the first week of July. I'm going to be operating as Kilo 2 Alpha, one of the New York operators. I did it last year and it was a blast. I'm doing it again this year.
How did you get that privilege?
By asking nicely, by figuring out who was running the program and just volunteering and getting to a pro team.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I did. I mean, it probably helped that I got some people to kind of like vouch for me and like say, yeah, Sebastian is part of the Hudson Valley contesters and the Xers. He's done contesting. He knows how to operate. The credibility of having other people vouch for me helped get accepted. But I don't know. Depending on the state, they might have fewer rules or be pickier. So
that's awesome. Let me take a second here to say thank you to Jason, Kilo Delta 2 Uniform Delta Romeo, $5 super chat. That is awesome. Thank you very much. That's so cool. So you already did kind of hint at 13 colony support coming down the line. Any other features you want to tease us with?
There's three avenues I've been working on. Three things. The one I already mentioned, which is the desktop version. That's going to take the longest, I think.
What are you writing that in? Is that also going to be React?
I'm going to be using React, so I can share a lot of the code. And the app is built. Polo is built in a way that's very modular. The
Mhm.
way I envision it is kind of like a VS Code, or think of this big editor that has like a core shell functionality, and then it's a bunch of extensions and plugins that let you do the special things you want to do.
Mhm.
Uh, so those plugins, those extensions, the code that does PODA in Polo should run on the desktop version without changes,
Mhm.
ideally. No, it doesn't right now, but that's the objective. So that whatever activity, whatever contest, whatever special support we add, it should work on both the desktop and the mobile version with the same code.
Mhm.
So I'm probably going to use it. It's a system called Tauri, Tauri, which is, I don't know if you've heard of Electron, which is a way of turning, like using web technologies to build desktop apps. And
No.
there's a lot of apps. The Discord client is built in Electron, for example.
Okay.
Um, but Tori is similar to Electron, but it's more lightweight. So I'm going with that.
I love cross-platform technology and applications. Wrote a lot of code that cross-compiled onto Linux, onto Windows, onto
Yeah.
not Mac. I mean, we didn't have anything that really targeted Mac, and also real RTOS systems. So
Hmm.
I understand the challenge in writing that
It
code, and
is. Yeah.
especially for GUIs and other things. And to be honest, some of these apps these days is very web based. So
Yeah.
like the desktop screen you're looking at is a web browser.
It's a web browser.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is.
It's,
Um, so I'm using that for the desktop version.
interesting.
The other thing that's coming is a sync service,
Hmm.
so that you all the QSOs you enter will get synced to the cloud, and you can access them from any other phone with the same account,
Or
and,
desktop eventually down the line
and with
too.
the desktop, and maybe even like a web viewer that lets you see your QSOs there. It'll open up a lot of things
Are you gonna
that
try to keep that free because now you got to maintain web space and a
that that
database?
that one will probably be paid. I mean, it'll
Yeah.
have some kind of free tier. I want people to be able, especially to, I don't want anyone to lose QSOs. Like, I will do something like let you access the last 7 days of QSOs. So if you lose your phone, you can get your QSOs from the
Hmm.
sync service, something like that. But maybe make it'll probably be something between 20 or to $30 a year. I don't think more.
That's understandable.
Yeah,
And to maintain web services and I can completely understand that. That's
yeah,
justified. And then $20 a year, that's not much.
yeah.
Have you thought about, and I know this is I'm digging at your roadmap here, trying to support clubs and multiple users logging for a single event and
Yes.
log.
So the one of the reasons that the sync service is taking me so long to write is that, of course, I overcomplicated what I wanted to do. Um, but it's I want to use the protocol I'm using for syncing to let you share operations across many users,
Hmm.
so that you say you want to do field day. The club president will pull up the phone, set up the operation there on Polo, and pick a menu that says share operation that will show, say, a QR code on their screen.
Oh,
Someone else can come, capture the QR code with their own version of Polo, and now that activation, that activity, that operation will show up on their phones
for the single event.
for the single event.
Yeah.
So anything they enter there will be shared with everybody else. But the rest, you don't need to put their account or anything else. Like, each person has their own copy of Polo
Hmm.
set up with their own account, their own call sign.
Hmm.
Um,
And
but
you can make
connect,
the sync account to the main like a club account.
and it syncs to the club account,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then it syncs to the cloud of the club account.
yeah,
Um, and that'll be that's the goal. Sadly, not ready in time for this year's field day,
yeah.
but definitely for next year's, it will be there.
That's awesome. I
Um,
love this idea. And the Streamlist, the using the QR codes, and
yeah,
that's really
or
well
even,
thought.
I
I
mean,
was going with something completely different, and I was like, yes, I like that.
No, the QR code or you can do it so that if you're in the same network, for example, they'll discover that someone is sharing an operation in that network and let you access it. There's a couple of ideas there to fine tune, but it'll be that's one of the dreams for me, like to have people do field day as a club with multiple devices, as easy as possible. Is the goal. And then the third big venue of work, big avenue of work is cat control.
Mm-hmm.
Connect to your radio, control the frequency so that when you enter the frequencies, as I was doing in the screen share earlier, it'll change the frequency on the radio. And if you use the spots and you tap on a spot, it'll change the frequency on the radio. And if you change it on the radio with the dial, then it'll show up in Polo. Like
Nice. I
that'll
assume
be
that's probably just going to be a desktop feature.
no, that's going to be on the mobile phone version. Right now, I want to do it so you can for the radios that have Bluetooth support, try to connect to the radio directly.
Mm-hmm.
Or the radios that have serial. The problem is that the serial USB on iOS is limited access. You don't have much access there.
Mm-hmm.
Even the certain types of Bluetooth won't work. So what we're doing is a little. I thought I had one here. It's basically a Raspberry Pi Zero
Mm-hmm.
running a little. It's not too complicated. It's a little application that does. It connects. You connect it to the serial port on the radio.
Mm-hmm.
And it offers a Bluetooth bridge to Polo
Mm-hmm.
using Hamlib. So by using Hamlib, we don't have to go into the details of how to control each different type of radios.
Mm-hmm.
There's thousands of different radios and different protocols and serial or whatnot. So this will use Hamlib to take care of that. And you connect it to the radio, and then that uses Bluetooth to get to your phone.
Mm-hmm.
I already have the first versions of that working on my development environment.
Ooh.
I got it to manage the frequency on a 705 using the little bridge device. And then once that will be, it will require people to get their own Raspberry Pis, but this is like the Zero is like less than $30. It's not
Yeah.
really an expensive thing.
Well, it's a little side thing, but especially if you can integrate Hamlib just to the desktop application versions.
And on the desktop, it'll be a lot easier. Yes.
Yeah. So that would be beautiful to do.
Mhm.
That's so cool, and I'm glad you said Hamlib. I was trying to think of that library for something else the other
Yeah.
day. I was like, "What is that?" And I forgot to search it, but now I got that up. That's so cool. If y'all in the chat have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and I will go ahead and read them here on the air. I getting the cat control and doing it via Bluetooth. That's so cool, and direct integration if you can, if they do support a Bluetooth connection, or like you said, and that Bluetooth app on its own will probably be pretty cool on its own
Yeah.
right. Where can we find more information about Polo and where's your buy me a coffee button?
The best place is polo.ham2k.com. That's the official website that has the links to the app stores, so you can get it for your phone. It has the links to the documentation, to the forums,
Mm-hmm.
and to buy me a coffee if you want to contribute to the project. And lots of people have, and it's been incredible to see the support, the love we're getting from the community.
Mm-hmm.
I like, I don't know if it'll be enough to cover the cost of the sync service once it starts working, but right now I'm getting enough money to cover the cost of all the services and expenses
Mm-hmm.
that I incur for doing Polo. It's not enough. I mean, I work on Polo about, I don't know, 10 to 20 hours a week.
Mm-hmm. On
Like
top of a
15 most of
full-time
the time.
job?
Yeah.
I
And
know
it's
the pain.
I mean, it'll be amazing if I could work on Polo full time, but it's like it's not there yet. But in the meantime, yeah, Buy Me a Coffee is a place to go. You can also do it from inside the app. If you go on the settings, there's a bunch of button, like a nice colorful button there. It'll be like an in-app purchase, so you don't. It's the fastest way to do it if you don't want the inconvenience of entering your credit card in a website. The but like you said, the app, it's free. It's if you can think of it as pay what you want, or like I like to see it as a tip based software development. Like I
it's free. You're part of a sport for free, and if you're able to give yourself buy them some coffee.
Yeah, and
I love it.
But also it's because I want people to be able to use Polo. I don't want people to have an excuse not to try Polo. I don't want to put a price in front of it. And I don't want. I know that there's people who can't afford $5 on an app like that. I mean, there's people on retirement income doing radio as the thing that makes them happy. I don't want to have to ask them to pay for Polo. Like it's not a, or people in many countries that are not the US or Canada or England, $5 is a considerable amount. So it's like, no, just give me what you want, including just a nice email saying thank you. That's plenty. It's like I don't want to put a toll booth in front of people using Polo.
I love it. I love it.
But send me the money
if you're able to. It helps because you got web pages. You got there's a fee to go onto the Apple Store.
Yeah.
Does Google have a fee?
Google has it's cheaper. I think it's $25. And it's the Apple Store is about $100 a year. It's not that it's something. It's affordable. It's not the biggest of the expenses.
Then there's domains. There's tons of little costs that it does build up because I got websites too and things, and it builds up.
Indeed.
I haven't seen any questions here from the chat, so I think we covered pretty much everything, Sebastian. This has been fun. I appreciate you coming on and sharing their time with us and showing us the awesomeness of Polo.
No, love doing it. And yes, it's been a while since we talked about doing this. And I'm glad to finally have been on your channel.
Anytime. So you have my email address now. So if anything comes up, you want a new feature you're about to drop and you want to come on and shout it from the mountain, well, my small little hill, hit me up and love to have you on again.
I hope to have some progress on the cat control soon. And then Windows most likely.
Yes. I love everything about this, and we will follow up next year about the club service sync because that's a cool feature too.
That'll be. I hope it'll come out just as good as I'm envisioning it.
I know who's going to be happy for that. Mike. Mike hates doing the desktop N3FJP sync every year we do it, and it can be a pain in the butt.
Yeah. I again, yes, that's one of the reasons why I want to do it, not just for Mike, for me. Like setting up multi-logging for a field day has always been a pain.
Oh, I got to share this. Paul has I got to put these in a web window. They were talking in the beginning. Come on, show me in a. Where's the browser pop up? Oh, open link. There we go. Open link. One more. And
welcome to Tank Radio. I'm Frank.
Oh, this one talks. No way. Okay. So this screw it. I'm sharing Discord. Gotta click over here. Thank you for letting me tread water. Discord. Paul made me Tank Radio, baby. And then we got another one. And finally,
welcome to Tank
he's
Radio.
talking.
I'm Frank, KG5AHJ, and today I'm going to show you my field day experience. Play that awesome intro video.
That's awesome. I'm saving those, Paul. I'm saving those. Um, all right, man. Hang out for a second. Let me wrap this up for us. Thank you all for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please don't forget to go ahead and head over to any podcast or app you have and search Tank Radio and pull up my audio podcast. Again, there is 4 releases a month, sometimes 5 depending on the month, and there's at least 2 or sometimes 3 that are not on my channel. So head over there, search for that. That audio podcast does generate a little bit of revenue to help keep all this going. Y'all are awesome and amazing. Thank you to everyone who is a supporter and a Patreon member and Google member for this live stream. I'm pulling it up now. It was Jason. Thank you for the super chat, and also Paul. Thank you for the 20 gifted memberships. Y'all are awesome and amazing. Thank you for watching, and as always, go forth and conquer. Say bye.
73.
Thank you to all my Patreon supporters. You can support me on Patreon. There is a link in the description below. And to all my tankers out there, go forth and conquer.